Okay, so at this point we're drawing things to a close. We're looking at bringing all the information together, having our formula, and then what's next? Probably using that formula. But before we use a formula, it's going to be important to make sure that we have the formula we should have. At this point, we should have completed the table of information and submitted that Excel file where we were recording our values to the Moodle. Additionally, we should have inputted an area formula and submitted that as well. So the next question is, did we find an area formula that makes sense with what it is we're talking about? We're going to look at the values we had in our table in order to discern whether or not our area formula does indeed make sense, does indeed fit with the values we have. First thing I want to point out is a connection between the rectangles and the triangles in our experiment here, in our little activity. And that is the rectangle base and the triangle base, we can see in each case are identical. So the triangle and rectangle had the same base. We should also see that the triangle and rectangle had the same height. The height of all the rectangles, the height of all the triangles are identical values. Which means we might be able to see a connection between the rectangle area and the triangle area. We know the formula for finding the area of a rectangle was the base times the height. And if we look at examples like, let's see, this one here, particularly example number 7, where we have a rectangle that had a base and a base of 10 and a height of 2 and an area of 20 square units. We have a triangle with a base of 10, a height of 2, and an area of 10 square units. We should be able to see there's a relationship between the triangle area and the rectangle area. And specifically, we should be able to see that that relationship is that the triangle area is half the rectangle area. What that tells us is that a formula that will work for finding the area of a triangle is to take the base times the height and then divide that by 2. So the area of a triangle is the base times the height divided by 2. We would abbreviate that A equals B times H divided by 2. You may also see area formulas written as, for a triangle, A equals 1/2 base times height. That's the same thing as area equals base times height divided by 2. But this version, area equals base times height divided by 2, is probably more likely how you would calculate the area when given an area problem. So now that we have a formula, hopefully you have the same formula, we're going to start by doing some example problems that will give us practice with this formula.